Hi everyone, I'm Sam, and today I'm going to talk about the full moon lunar eclipse that is happening tomorrow at 11:10 a.m. It's actually starting at 9:07 a.m. and ending at 1:12 p.m. PST, okay? So this lunar eclipse is a very intense, emotional release of everything, you know what I mean? So it's a really just overall emotional just time. So decision making obviously off the table. You're too emotional, you know what I mean? So this is a good time for release. Full moons are usually good times for release because a lot of things are illuminated, so you kind of have a full picture of what's going on. Again, with this though, you're gonna probably be releasing more deep wounds and old wounds, kind of stuff that has always needed to be released that you kind of haven't gotten around to doing yet, or it's been too painful to really confront full on. This is the moon where it's finally gonna release everything that has been kind of underneath everything. So like surface stuff that you want to release, like if you're like, oh, I don't really want my job right now, or oh, I don't really like my relationship, or that stuff is definitely good to start putting into place, like if you want to release. But this is really releasing stuff like if you still hate your parents, or if literally something happened when you were a kid and it's still messing with you, or really abusive relationships that really messed you up, like things like that. Like it's deep stuff. Like if you still have effects of drug abuse or drug habits, like all that, there's a lot of really intense things instead of surface things being released. And this full moon is happening in the nakshatra, or the sub-constellation Punarvasu, which is in Gemini, so it's a Gemini moon. And this is the moon mansion that Lord Rama was born under. And what happened to Lord Rama was he had his whole kingdom and his wife, and he lost it all, and then he was able to regain it back. And so that is what the special power of this moon mansion, or the sub-constellation, is light again, or returning again, or something again. So this is the biggest thing to remember, that things that didn't work out in the past, that you really wanted it to work out, actually, if you have persistence and try it again, it probably will succeed the second time. Okay, so this is about persistence. There's a lot of different factors of this lunar eclipse that's kind of crazy, because there is a lot of stuff going on. There's the fact that all this old inner stuff is finally being released, and then there's the fact that all this new prosperity is coming in because we're releasing everything old, right? So there's a lot of like mixture of energies. Also Gemini's, it's all in the mind. Also with this moon mansion being light again and again, everything that you do or think or say or whatever, interactions, everything basically that happens during the lunar eclipse, so 9:07 a.m. to 1:15 p.m. has the ability to happen again, okay? So it is significantly more suggested to do something positive that you would like to happen again, because the likelihood is happening again. So basically, if you win $1 million tomorrow during the lunar eclipse, it has a chance of happening again. If you end up in a really intense fight with one of your friends during the lunar eclipse, it might happen again. You feel me? If you're really depressed during the lunar eclipse, it might happen again. If you're really happy during the lunar eclipse and really protective, it might happen again. So there's a lot of that type of energy. It's a lot of kind of renewal energy going on, so you just want to make sure that you use it wisely. This is a very good lunar eclipse to spiritually renew yourself, so meditation is really good. This ancestors are walking around very heavily out there, because again, we're dealing with cellular, intense, like soul purging, like it's a lot of like deep purging. I mean, it's kind of been going on since the last solar eclipse anyways. So good things and bad things to do during this lunar eclipse. Obviously, best thing to do, meditate, honor your ancestors. Donations are always good, tipping people, things like that, because again, it will return to you threefold. Make sure to shower before the lunar eclipse, and in particular after the lunar eclipse, get We want to start all clean, you know. It is not advised to go outside or to eat food during that lunar eclipse, because this lunar eclipse is for our ancestors. So you want to honor them by let them have fun outside for today. Let them eat all the food during the lunar eclipse. You know what I mean? Like we can sacrifice the 4 hours to not eat and to, you know, stay inside our home and meditate tomorrow. We can do that. And also eat fresh food after the lunar eclipse. So when I say fresh food, not necessarily fresh, but you want to make sure that any pre-prepared food that is pre-prepared before the lunar eclipse is not eaten, because it was exposed to the lunar eclipse. It might, if you eat it, it might give you like, it might just make you really emotional and blah. It's just better to kind of like renew everything after this lunar eclipse is done, again, because it's so emotional and all that good stuff. So I am going to pull a couple cards for all of us, just to see what are the really big themes that we have to release this lunar eclipse. I know I've just said a bunch of information already, but why don't we get deeper into this? Okay, so what is something that we all are experiencing? Let's see, what are we all releasing and experiencing during this lunar eclipse? What are we all releasing during this lunar eclipse? And what can we all expect to happen again during this lunar eclipse, or from this lunar eclipse? Those are the two questions I think I'm going to do. Okay, so things that we are releasing. 6 of Swords. Okay, so we are releasing everything in our minds, in particular, that is holding us back, okay, from moving forward, from transitioning, from travel, from everything, basically. We are releasing things in the mind, our own personal thoughts, our own personal beliefs of ourselves, okay? You really need to look back on who you believe you are, okay? Yeah, who you believe you are versus who you actually are. Those are two completely different things. Because what we are worried about, or what may happen again from this lunar eclipse, we have 8 of Wands reversed, okay? So 8 of Wands reversed is having all that fiery energy moving forward, but then it being delayed, or it being blocked, or it being just something. And the reason for this is because we are still pretending, and we are still listening to that little voice inside our head telling us that we're someone that we are not, okay? This is a time where we all have to look at ourselves and look at what do you keep telling yourself, okay? Like I was listening to this great podcast by Laura Casey the other day, and she was talking about how decision making, for example, is not something that you're born with. It's a skill that you develop. You're not just born and you're great at making decisions, you know what I mean? Like, you literally go about your life and you either become good at it because you do it, or you don't become good at it because you always tell someone else to make decisions for you. So instead of telling yourself, for example, if you're bad at making decisions, stop telling yourself you're bad at making decisions, because you're telling yourself that and making it true. You're not bad at making decisions. You just don't want to make decisions, okay? There's a difference. It's basically just choose what you want to be bad at. You don't got to be bad at everything that you say you're bad at. If there's something that you're bad at that you want to be better at, just work on it. Like, I used to be really bad at math. Yeah, I know, I'm Asian. I should be naturally good at it, but I was pretty trash at it. And I was like, this is stupid. This is straight up stupid, especially when I was stripping. I was like, I got to be good at math. So I was like, I'm going to get really good at doing math in my head so I can calculate how many whatever. Like, so I got real good at counting money, and now I'm really good at, I'm not really good, but I got a lot better at math. So now I don't say that I'm horrible at math anymore. So it's getting out of the mind. It's getting out of the personal blocks that we put out. I think I said that for something. I said that for another reading. Was it for the solar eclipse reading? I don't remember. But either way, that is the biggest theme for this lunar eclipse. And the biggest thing that you have to note is the reason why you may be coming up against walls all the time. Like, every time you try and execute a plan or a project, it doesn't work, and it's just all 8 of Wands reversed energy, you know? The reason why it's happening and repeating again, and why it may repeat again, is because you are not honoring yourself. You're still doing things that you think other people are like want you to do, or you think that other people feel like you should do, or you've been conditioned to believe you should do it by other people. It's not you. If something is just not working and it's just like you're running your head into a freaking wall, it's because you're not supposed to do it. Period. You're not. It's not for you. It's not what your soul wants, not what the divine wants you to do. It's what society wants you to do, or you've been conditioned to believe that you want to do it, or there's some weird self-worth thing inside you that makes you believe you need to do whatever it is. But basically, if you keep finding yourself going after goals and it keeps failing and it keeps just you got to look at soul stuff at that point. You got to look at, what are you really doing? What do you really want? Who are you really? So I hope you guys have an amazing lunar eclipse time. Again, it is Friday the 10th. It will be full maximum lunar eclipsing at 11:10 a.m. PST, and it is going to start at 9:07 a.m. and it is going to end at 1:12 p.m. So yes, I hope you guys have a good day tomorrow, releasing all the things. I hope you guys go deep and try and figure out when you started telling yourself that you couldn't do things. Look at the skills that you tell yourself you're not good at. Look at the things that literally are not like biological or like something that you're born or not born with, because there's a lot of stuff that is just skills that you just have to learn, as like taxes, for example. No one's born just knowing how to do taxes. It's a skill. So yeah, I hope you guys like the daily readings that I've been putting on. And also, I made a website, and I know I should have told you guys about it after the full moon, but I didn't. I did it before, so go check it out. Website, go get readings from me. Yeah, have a good day, guys. I will post the zodiac goodness soon, or tomorrow, after the lunar eclipse. Either during the lunar eclipse or after. But yeah, thank you guys. Have a good day.